Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to How Do You Not Know This? You've probably all been at a dinner party or hanging out with your intellectual friends. They bring up a subject, you have no idea what they're on about, and you just kind of nod, right? This is How Do You Not Know This? We deal with subjects like that, and we have the guinea pig, Exhibit A, Dom Haddon Woods, a comedian who's funny, but has huge gaps of knowledge.
Big gaps.
Big gaps. He never used to pay attention in school to his parents. Barely reads.
Don't pay attention to this.
Don't pay attention to this.
But then we saw you've ordered a book.
Two books
on Amazon, which is
I
incredible.
do read books.
That's incredible.
You do read books,
but as in the right way up.
I try and educate myself, but I
Good
find
on you.
I listen to TED Talks sometimes. Daily listened to one yesterday about addiction.
Excellent.
But I think as I listened to it,
couldn't let it go. Yeah,
I listened to it and then I go, "What the fuck was that about?"
Did you watch my TED Talk?
I watched yours ages ago and I complimented you on it.
You did.
Because I remember saying to you, because I went, "Oh, your TED Talk was great, man." You went, "Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much. What did you like about it?"
Give us the 3 main points from Daliso's TED Talk.
I actually can. The big one I remember, where he was like turning pain into jokes.
He paid attention, he's right.
And then you think of the joke instead of the painful thing. So he said, if I went for a breakup, write a great joke. Think about the great joke.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's like literally the essence.
It was because I thought that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll do that
I
more.
think we all do it as comedians. It's literally plastering over painful moments in your life with jokes.
What I have noticed, though, is I spoke to ChatGPT. And sometimes when I write, there's a bit of a block in my head. And it said, it's because you're thinking of really traumatizing stuff that's happened to you with your brains. I don't want to think about this. And you're like, no, I want a punchline. I think that's...
Oh, that could have been the block for your entire education. It's just traumatized the whole way through.
I'd say that was the main point. I don't think there was really 3 points to it, I wouldn't say. I mean, you spoke about your life and that.
Yeah, it was part about my life, and that was leading towards that.
Yeah.
Towards that.
So I listened to that
and
one.
Examples, but yeah.
So I said to him that it was good, and he was really complimented. And really, I could see that meant something to him. And then I said, so hang on a minute. Whenever I compliment your sets, you go, okay, that was great, man. That was amazing. You go, yeah, of course. And I said, what's that? And he goes, because I know I'm really good at comedy. Sorry. Because I don't need you to tell me it was good. Did you not hear the audience?
Yes.
Their hands hurt from a clapping.
Yeah, you're in agreement with the 300 people that have just given it a standing ovation. Kind of, I get you.
But yes, the TED Talk was something I'd never done before, so I was more insecure about it. But I do sound really
every time I said to you, you just go, yeah, obviously. Of course it was good. He's stupid.
Sometimes, it's when you're not in your comfort zone. Because I was looking for affirmation from you earlier this week. I sent Dom a photo of my new trainers, £10 Lidls. Right?
Yes,
I literally bought these
has
a week.
Shoes.
£10, and I thought, you know, when you go to a shop and you think, I'm going to buy bread, eggs, shoes, and a defibrillator. This is what I got. And I went, well, Don, what do you think? And you went, you said they were hideous.
Did I?
Yeah, you went, that's hideous. Not even just, no, man.
That's good because he gave his actual opinion.
Yeah.
Because my issue is there are people who ask you for your opinion who don't want your opinion.
Yeah.
They just want flattery.
Man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've got someone who sent me a message saying, I'm working on this joke. Can you give me some opinion?
Yeah.
And so they showed me their terrible joke. I suggested corrections, and they got really defensive. And they're like, no, well, you know, the way I did. And I'm like, why are you defensive if you asked my input?
Because you didn't go like, can I have any feedback yet? Stop now. Give up, do something else. Because I remember once, you won't remember, there was a guy who started comedy for a bit, and we met up in Manchester. And it's called a guy called Nick. And I could see you sliding into your chair as you'd given up. We were trying to help him write, and eventually, at one point, Daliso gave up. His eyes, rolled into the back of his head.
This man's not listening to anything we're saying.
The thing is, whenever I used to ask you advice about comedy, generally you're held hostage in my car.
Yes,
so
that's a smart way to do it. That's a smart way to do it.
It's like, can we pull over at a garage, please? No. 2 hours left, man.
I had a comedian once drop me off, and he just wanted to have a quick chat, and I always thought it was slightly ominous. And he went, "Oh, just something I want to talk about." And it was just general comedy chit chat. And he put his elbow on the central locking.
Whoa.
And I was like, "All right, okay." Really do want to chat. I mean, it wasn't threatening. I think subconsciously he hadn't quite realised, as if to say, like, it was like Stranger Things. Let me just have a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
So-
dead now. No, he's not.
Is he?
No.
But the fact that you don't necessarily pay attention might be a boon, because as I was on my way here, I started to wonder, have we already done this?
I don't know if we've already done this. Right,
I could read out to you the YouTube title.
No, let me tell you what, because
We've got no backup,
Yeah, we've got
so
no
we'll
backup.
just do it again.
Yeah.
So me and Daliso went, well, what should we ask him about this week to see if there's surely something we got. Now, tell us, right, I'm not even going to say the name, but who's the most famous English playwright ever in history?
Shakespeare?
Yes.
Have
there we
we
go.
done it?
Have we done an episode on Shakespeare?
Yes.
Have we?
Yeah, I
Have
think we
we?
did Shakespeare.
We did Shakespeare. I don't remember it.
Let me look.
Can you compare it to a summer's? Not what? Like really?
I'm pretty sure we did.
I know that we planned to do it, and then I thought we did Iliad instead. But
I thought
maybe
we
we
did.
did it.
Let me see. Let me read it out. Luckily we've got...
This
It-
could
look,
be a
it's-
really short episode.
No, it's gigantic. We can
I mean, that's
do
it.
another angle.
Well, interesting.
There's a guy that does a really.
So
I mean, this
we've-
is very meta. We're on.
We've got Censorship last week.
podcast.
Censorship?
Doctor Who, Pop Quiz, VE
Doctor
Day.
Who? That was Doctor Who.
That was with John Cooper.
That's John Cooper.
I missed the good stuff,
That's a good
man.
one. This is
No,
a very
you-
good
no, you
one.
didn't.
No, did it?
VE Day, Mythology, Basic Science, Conspiracy Theories, Alan Turing, Jesus Christ, Viral Moments, King Henry VIII, British Literature. That would have been it. I would have
Oh, we
thought.
probably mentioned it in British literature.
I don't think.
We do a lot of history.
because
Well,
that's really where we like. We're not going to ask you
Do you know about?
Pythagoras,
I mean, we could go into the Middle East conflict if you want to, but
or we
you
could
know,
go into like
what's going on right now. But
human anatomy.
More-
Oh, no,
Piers
but
Morgan.
because you are great at
I
human
could
anatomy.
fuck
actually.
you up on human anatomy.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause-
ooh, that's a
no,
showdown.
because he was a
Personal
personal
I
trainer.
know, but that's.
If we did one on, I reckon. I reckon.
I'd like, well, let's
Let's flip it. He's gonna
go on.
Well, I
You
could.
school
I could.
us on
I could.
human
I could
anatomy,
educate
but
you.
Keep your clothes on.
I was thinking I could educate you on human anatomy, or I'd like to talk about the dating course I went on at some point.
the dating
Reviews.
course you went
You can
on.
question
Whoa.
me on that. Did you not know about that?
I didn't know
Well,
about
you know
that.
what?
Course. Let's okay.
Because we've
this
already done Shakespeare. Let's do dating.
okay.
Okay.
Tell us about the
Tell us about dating, because you've been married for how long?
I've been out of the game now for 19 years.
Yeah.
so
You've
it's
been
a
out of the game
different
for 19
world.
years. I am recently back on the
Game.
That sounds like
a beautiful-
a prostitute. Like, that's what the game is. You know that?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but like I'm back on it after breaking up with someone after many years, and they blackmailed me. You know all about this.
Yeah, I know about it.
But
Yeah.
yes,
So
anyway,
you called me the day. And I need to get on stage now.
I need to get on stage now. Yes, audience members, I had an ex who was going to release a sex tape and tell all kinds of horrible stories about me. So I went on stage to beat the story.
And everyone went to
Get
you.
ahead of it,
Everyone
yeah.
went to you. This is a shit idea at the time, but you were so.
It was a great idea. What's interesting is the comic said it was a bad idea, but when I spoke to a personality consultant,
Yeah.
they said that was the right
But
move.
you told more people about it than she told.
Yes,
Definitely.
that's what happened in the end. That's what happened in the end. And then what made it worse is they added to it.
Yeah.
So there was comedians started telling it to other people, but adding
Differently.
stuff that never happened.
Yeah.
Crikey.
And then it came
Yeah.
back to me, and I was like, "That's not what happened. She
And-
wasn't a glamour
Nightmare.
model. I wasn't paying her. What the hell?"
Yeah, yeah.
And now with AI, people can create the videos and everything. There's a whole documentary on it now. Like, yeah.
So
go
you're
on.
usually going to ask me? Well, you're going to
Yeah,
ask
no,
me questions.
well, tell us about the you did the dating course. How long ago did you do it?
So I think it was 2019.
Well,
Actually, I did.
pre-pandemic. That's a good, sir.
Yeah, a dating course during the pandemic wouldn't have.
No, but even like you,
Just
because
going
you were
up to
like you
police.
completed it, and then the pandemic, and then you had to stay in your house for
But
like
more
a
importantly,
year.
why did you go on a dating?
So I'll
course?
tell you what actually happened was that I did two. So initially, me and my dad didn't talk for a long, long time because he got divorced from my mum, and he cheated on her. And I thought that's not acceptable. And then one day I needed a new Xbox. I thought,
How old were
maybe
you?
it's time to reconnect.
26.
So I said, yeah. I reconnected through something, and then actually, what actually happened is I got
So, like, how long had you not spoken to your dad?
3 years.
About 3 years. That's a long time, innit?
It's long.
And you were what, early 20s at this point?
No, like 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah.
So they are formative years
Big
without
years.
without dad involvement. But you were living with your mum.
Living with my mum.
Wow,
And
okay.
she was always like, you need to see, yeah, he did this stuff, but here's your dad. And then when I reconnected, we'd hang out loads, and she was like, "Oh, hanging out with your dad a lot, aren't you?" And she already
You
jealous.
created the situation.
Yeah.
Now you're complaining.
So we reconnected, and then we go out with my mates and stuff. And then he said to me one day that I was saying how I struggled speaking to women, and he'd done a lot of self-development courses, and he mentioned how there's this thing called the pickup community, where a coach will take you out, and they'll say, "Go up to this woman and say this," and then you will. And I thought, that sounds fucking mental.
Now, do you know anything about the pickup community?
I've heard on that because it's sort of spiraled into kind of like where, you know, you've got to break public shame. And I remember reading like a Guardian article on this where one guy was like, I was rutting a lamppost in the like when they went this thing where they went, you've got to break this idea of rejection. So they get everybody to go into, you know, near a subway thing, and then everyone goes up to a lamppost and they start rutting, you know, not care what people think of them, and it's that breaking of the fear of rejection and all that. And the guy was like, I think I'm going to check out now.
I had an
Someone was
equally
kicking him up the
bizarre
arse.
introduction to them because I was at a nightclub and a bunch of people came in wearing black shirts which had FBI written on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was like, oh, they're big fans of like the FBI. Then they turn around and it says female body inspector.
Is that what they were doing?
Well, they were wearing these shirts, and I was like, what the hell are you wearing?
That's really
and they said,
creepy.
oh, they had read the game.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And they were very much they're like, we're here to pick up, and I just thought these were the most like brainless idiots I'd ever seen. Like, but the version you went to wasn't that. It wasn't like the game, which is all about negging people. And
So the person that ran my dad said, let's go on this course.
Yeah.
And then I thought, that's never going to happen. That's not even a real thing. And then he sent me a link to a boot camp, introductory boot camp.
Okay.
And he said it's by this woman who's written this book called The Noble Art of Seducing Women. Her name was Kezia Noble. That's where Noble comes in.
so she's counteracting the really toxic
No.
guys. No, you think it's equally
She's a very attractive lady.
okay?
She got into it by met a guy in a club. He spoke to her in some kind of way that made her think that was different to how most guys speak to me. And then he was a coach. And then he said to her, come along and be an actress on one of the boot camps. So the guys will speak to her, and then at the end the guys will go, look, these are actresses. They're going to tell you what you did wrong, all right?
Okay.
So and then she started her own company, but multi-million, Vegas, London, they're everywhere. These her boot camps. So anyway, we went, and the first day boot camp, it was in Kensington, and it was in a flat, someone's flat, and there was like a living room and 20 chairs, 20 extremely divorced men just sat there, and then
And you.
and me.
I've got a question, okay?
Yeah.
Because like I've done comedy courses where in the course there 80% of the people who you're like, I can teach you to be a bit funny. Then there's some lost courses where there's no hope. Was there anyone there you're like, this man is so hideous that with no amount of training will help?
Well, do you know what? Interestingly, a lot of the coaches were not good-looking men.
Of course.
Because I don't think good-looking men could coach pickup, because you just go, well, you don't need to know any of this.
Yeah,
You're
Brad
good-looking.
doesn't need game. He's
Yeah.
just like, he just walks in, look at my face.
Yeah. So,
That's his move. You see this?
but what happened was that the coaches did a talk, and I was actually they were all very charismatic, and I was like, these guys are amazing. They know all this stuff about psychology and colours and...
And I suppose what you're learning isn't just about the dating game; it's actual like communication,
interaction with
confidence. Yeah, interaction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But wait, what's the purpose of it? Are they trying to teach you how to find love, or are they trying to teach you how to like have 51 night
Well,
stands?
there
Because
was-
that's a different approach.
There was, on the boot camp, there was like 4 or 5 different coaches with all their own methods, right?
Okay.
So the one I eventually went off with into a group was a lady called Minnie. That wasn't a real name, obviously. And that wasn't even like she just called herself that in life. That
Yeah.
wasn't like a anonymous thing. And she was very wholesome. She did my podcast when I did one with my dad.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, this is to make your life better, not just to sleep with loads of women. So she was great. A lot of the men were more sleep with women.
Yeah.
But I remember there was the coach would do a talk, and then everyone had to go up individually and talk about themselves. And my dad was like, this was when I thought maybe planted a seed of doing stand-up. And my dad went, did you not find that hard? And I went, no. He said everyone would have found that hard doing the public speaking bit.
Oh, it's all
interesting.
pre-comedy. So there you go. That's interesting, that, isn't it? Yeah.
But there was also a stand-up on that course. He was saying he was a stand. I don't know. I can't remember him. I've not seen him since.
As an attendee, not a trainer.
An attendee did
Wow.
stand-up, and I've not seen it. I wanted to run into him and go, hey man, you're the guy.
You're the guy.
We'll obviously have
Here's
that.
my question: do you still use the methods? Because what you're teaching us methods, what do we need to learn?
What was the main thing do you think you learned from that? What was the
You can game your wife, right? Like, look, it's just because you're married doesn't mean these things don't apply. Learn the techniques.
Well, a lot of
Dazzle your wife. She'll just be like, "There's something
trust
new."
me, she doesn't watch the podcast, so this is we are fine here. This is just between us.
Well, what they pretty much taught us initially was just they call it approach anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So getting over the anxiety of approaching someone.
But we're comedians. We don't have that.
No, I think we do. If me and you, if we all went into the Trafford Centre right now,
Yeah.
and I said to you or you, go up to that girl, run up. So what would happen is the girls would be on the move, going about their day.
Yeah.
And they went to Westfield Shopping Centre in London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that
so
one.
very similar to the Trafford Centre. And they say, right, Dom, go up to this girl, run in front of her, so she can't. Because if you come
So
to the
it's that
side, they'll
same
keep walking.
technique, innit? Yeah, getting over that anxiety.
Yeah,
of the
so
initial
run in front
connection.
of her, stop her, and say, hi, I saw you from over there. I thought you looked great.
Oh.
I regret if I didn't say
Oh,
anything.
I'm
this is
cringing.
awful.
Just,
You
This
couldn't
is
do that,
awful.
could you?
I could do it because I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
but
but-
there's no value in
But
it.
you wouldn't enjoy it.
I wouldn't enjoy
But
it.
also, it's like, is it actually? It's,
I talk to strangers all the time.
And also, I'd be like, she's on the phone. They'd be like, well, get her off the phone.
No.
Yeah.
see, this is
This is not going
She's
to...
got headphones in. Take him out. Well, don't take him out. but
Okay,
like-
this is dealing with anxiety, but this would never actually lead to anything.
Well, the thing I struggled with was I did it, and a lot of women just walk past you. Obviously.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then eventually they'd stop, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'd say I saw you from over there." And she'd say, "Oh, thank you so much." And then I didn't know what to say next. I was
You just...
But I was so nervous. Like,
How did you
crikey.
be like, I'm on a course, I'm on a course.
Just to let you know
I'm
I'm on
sorry,
the
I'm
course.
sorry.
and also the coach would be watching you from a distance. Right?
I would probably start with just hi. Sorry, I'm really sorry to bother you. I'm not selling it. Just let you know I'm on a course,
and they're making me do.
and they're making me
this.
do this. There's a guy over there. Could you just smile, laugh, and then feel free to move on? But like, you know, and I'll just tell him you've got a boyfriend. Can we just do that?
That's the best way. The closest I've had to that is there was a prank TV show, right? Which had us go and approach people to prank
really?
them. Yeah. Oh, it was called
mate.
Immigrant's Guide to the UK. And it was painful. I don't know how these Ali G types do it, right? Because
Yeah.
you would walk up to people, you'd stop them in the middle of the day, and then you would just talk nonsense, right, to get a laugh. And then what I remember is there'd always be a point that the producers would come out and try to get them to sign a release. Right. And there was one woman who I'd pranked, and she was really involved in this ridiculous prank about buying British babies for Malawi, right? And then when the producers came up, she was like, oh, fuck off. And she just walked up, and I felt so bad. And I was like, you're right, I've wasted your time. I got you emotionally involved in a lie.
Yeah, because that's one of the. Was there not a bit of you that what do they call the ick that you feel in this whole
I think
process?
I was so young. that I was just like.
Sometimes, yeah, you don't.
I just thought he was.
I'll
Like
tell you the how do you not know this of this episode is you misused the ick. Do you know what the ick is?
Isn't that where someone feel, or it's probably where just a female feels like creeped out by a guy?
Well, so, yes,
Or
essentially.
the
It's
other
not
way.
even that. It's like
It's
you
not
could.
even that. It's like you like someone, and you're liking them, and then they do one thing that makes you not like them anymore. It gives you the
That's the ick.
And it could just be like tying your laces,
right.
yeah, tying your laces wrong or a weird shirt.
Little
or,
shoes.
Little shoes, yeah.
Or you like pretty much the plot of every single Seinfeld episode is Seinfeld starts dating someone.
Yeah.
They laugh weird. He gets the ick.
There's someone married in an axe murder. They were like, you always find an excuse to leave. And he goes, "What? Give me an example." And they go like Sandra. He goes, "She smelt of soup." Stuff like that, just like a random thing that's like, what are you on
I
about?
could not date someone who smelled of soup.
Depends what kind of soup.
Yeah.
Depends on the soup.
I can handle minestrone.
Tomato soup.
No.
Chicken soup with bits.
Something very coconutty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went out.
Yeah.
And we did approached loads of women.
Crikey.
And then one guy, this is interesting. So I was with, it was me, my dad, the coach, Minnie, and then another guy. This is where I think is valuable. And I think the stereotypes about it should be looked into more because this, stay with me.
I'm with it.
One of the guys on it had literally, probably more than one, had just broken up from his wife.
Yes.
And like 40 years, a bit like you, I guess, just been with his wife for ages.
Mm.
Well, you're quite a social guy, but he was, very, him and his wife together, didn't speak to anyone else, really. Just and they broke up. What the fuck? He doesn't know how to speak to a human, let alone a woman. So he was so scared. And at one point, the coach said to him, take a £20 note and go into the shop and ask the woman to change into 2 10s for you, just to start a conversation. He couldn't do that.
He couldn't do that.
No.
But again, I think it's the mental block of, I want something from this person.
Yeah.
Because I actually think, for example, it's easy to talk to people who you're not attracted to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, talk to old women, talk to a bloke, nothing. It's only when you want something, your brain goes...
We all remember as a kid, I find it even as a kid, I could talk to all females, but it was always the ones I really fancied. They were the ones I couldn't talk to, or I'd get tongue-tied and all the rest of it. But is there not, for me, the whole concept of these, I don't know what, I mean, obviously I've not been on the course, but it just feels
we
a
should do
bit
a Patreon
like...
special on the course.
No, but were they techniques?
expensive.
Were they techniques? So,
Well,
confidence
there's
building, I
techniques to-
understand. Approaching people, I understand. But I'm like, was it one of these ones where it's like, these are ways to get people interested in you?
Well, there's a follow-up because I did the boot camp. That was one day. You
Yeah.
go out and do the day. They call that day gaming. Then there was a break, and then you go out at night. And night, it's just basically just going clubbing. It's easier to talk to a woman in a club, isn't it?
Depends who you are.
Because it's more normal.
No, it depends who you are.
Well,
I'd rather talk to someone in a cafe than a nightclub.
Really?
Yeah.
well, then I found it easier, but maybe now I'd rather it in the
Well,
daytime.
I feel like in a nightclub,
It's not easy. It's louder
loud
as well.
It's loud. People are with their mates.
Yeah.
While like I
Yeah, it's
feel
just-
like I'll tell you my easiest approach, because I've read too many books.
Yeah.
So if a woman's reading something,
Oh, nice.
I look and I often have read the book, right? And I'll say, "Oh, that's a great book," and then like you end up in a conversation. It's great. It's easy.
My friend actually told me, he wasn't involved in this at all. He told me when he was dating, he'd just, in a club, he'd go up to a girl and he'd go, where did you get that top, mate? It's my sister's birthday soon, and I want to get her something similar.
Smart.
He said it
That's
works
very
every
smart.
time, and I
That's
thought,
smart
I paid
because-
loads of
Very
money.
No,
for
that's
this.
brilliant again because you're flattering them, but you're also flattering their choice.
Yeah.
You're not flattering their body, you're flattering their...
And it's like, they that seems completely defenseless.
See, that's okay, because that's like just a conversational... It's
But
often
again,
what
I'll tell you what the problem is. It's that I look, my personality, I could only do that once. If I'm doing something again...
I mean, you don't even got a sister, have you?
Exactly. The problem.
That's the problem.
That's the
5 years
problem.
into the relationship, I think
How's
that's
your
something I need to
sister?
tell you. Yeah.
Did you buy that coat? Did she like it?
Asking friends to put on the top of it.
It's really funny though because I often get like young when I go live online and stuff like that.
Not when we did it.
Not when we did it, right? But when I go live and I get young, usually like teenagers, and they'll ask, "How do you talk to women?" And I was always like, "Why are they asking me? Like I'm not like some kind of don't want." But I guess they think they want something funny. They want like a funny
Right,
opening
okay.
line or something.
I mean, if people want to know how
Yeah.
I talk to them, just go on Instagram. It's fucking... It's all
Yeah.
there.
You see, that's the actual thing which I think the world has changed. Dating apps.
Yeah.
Instagram, not like you are actually approaching people, which I think you're the last generation doing that. Because when I talk to my nephew's generation, they don't walk up to people, they slide in their DMs.
Do you know what I
That's the initial, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the difficulty with dating apps is like, so I could be dating someone, but it's not official, so I'll still be on the apps. I'll be dating them, and then I'll go on the app, and I'll be like, well, look what I could have. It's like buying a car and still looking at more.
Yeah,
but if you're dating,
It's not good
and
for the
you're not
brain.
on an app, isn't that just when you're looking around, walking around, and you see attractive people, and you're like, I could be having these.
I guess so, but it's like they're there. It's like buying a car and still looking at more cars.
But that's the point at which, like, you got to make a decision, because it's what they call option paralysis, isn't it? Where you kind of go, oh my goodness, there's all these people, but eventually you've got to go, well,
This is it.
This is it. This person's it.
There was
That's
a point. You're aware of this. I think you're aware of this. There was a point where I was seeing 3 different women at the same time. Now I'm seeing 0. This is a sign that I should have chosen an option and stuck to it.
Yeah. There's an old Buddhist phrase which says, "The man who chases 2 rabbits catches none."
Nice.
I was catching
women
3
are-
rabbits.
You
and I'm just like, no, I should have stuck with rabbit number 1.
Women are similar to rabbits.
And they
Karen, you
better
heard
not.
it here
They better
first.
not own a rabbit, or because you can't compete.
I
Man who
think
competes against 2 rabbits has no chance.
so. We went on the boot camp. That was a day.
Yes.
That was £500. And then my dad.
£500.
Wait, it gets worse.
Unbelievable.
Wait.
They bet, no.
Bear with me.
£500. They better give you
No,
a woman.
but- but-
They better-
There's that, they open up a cupboard. There you go. At the end of the day.
Wait, bear with me. So,
Certificate, and that's Julie.
and then the boot camp was essentially to sell their 7-day mastery intensive.
Well, you were like, haven't you already
No,
got enough out of
wait.
it?
7
How
days.
much is a 7-day? $3,000.
4.
Oh,
And that was the father-son deal.
$4,000. Number 1.
so you can both be lonely.
Yeah.
and broke.
How much is an escort?
I've only.
Well, a 92 reg, diesel or petrol. What are we talking about here, son? Right.
No, my
You're
point
nice.
is,
I've got this one.
my point is,
Very good.
one could probably hire an escort for $4,000.
Multiple.
And
A premium
and-
escort.
No, but not only get the escort activity, but also get them to teach you how to
Ask you
teach.
questions, yeah.
And
You walk up the street.
and they'd laminate a certificate for you.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
They would.
Yeah,
But you don't want to know what they're laminating with.
So we went on it, and that was the feeling behind that was like, if you can do this, because it was all day for 7 days. If you can do this for 7
Wow.
days, it will then build the habit. And that wasn't just it. It was I had to
It's good.
stay
It's
in
good to
London.
get in
Look,
the habit
I'm
of being
making
rejected
fun of it.
constantly.
I'm making fun of it, but from the age 17 to 20, I could have used that.
Yeah.
I could have used
What,
something like that.
$4,000 or the
No,
course?
no.
But interesting though,
I
like
didn't have that kind of money, but I'm just saying the kind of knowing how to approach people and because I bumbled my way through gaining confidence over years
Yeah.
of shyness.
But this is
So
the whole
it's
thing.
good to
We're,
kind of
we're
force
creating
people.
courses for stuff which used to happen in friendship. Your mates would be saying, "Look, just go and have a chat with her.
Just
Get
go
over
have a
that."
chat.
Just that's $7,000.
Depends on your friend group.
But also, what's going on here is the demographic. You saw it was like you and a bunch
Divorced.
of divorcee guys in their 40s. That's the whole. Again, that's men that are lonely and have expendable cash, right? And it is a
if you
difficult
have-
time.
I'll tell you honestly, if you have $4,000 for a course, just go to a bar and say, I have $4,000.
You don't need to do the approach. Just open up a briefcase. Like, it's all in fivers.
Who wants a drink?
Done.
Someone sucking my dick at the end of the night. Who will talk to me for $4,000 for a bit?
Exactly right. Like literally.
And I think one of the things that I don't, what I instinctively don't like about the course is the idea of creating techniques, because it's about control. Because ultimately,
Also, I read the game.
relationships.
Now I know these aren't the game, but I read the game, and the game is really based on manipulation and things like you neg them and make them feel more insecure, so they need you more, and you do all these things toying with expectation, reality. Like when you talk to them, make sure you don't ring them for 3 days, and it's all these manipulations.
Exactly.
But I also used to think, number one, a relationship is not it's not warfare. But the second thing was, I think they don't put in the key factor. What do you look like? Because your technique should be different depending on what you look like. Like, for example, if you're like the guy who wrote the game, he's a decent looking fella.
Leo
But I'm
Strauss,
like, that's not the same. You can't have the same technique as someone who's 100 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got to be a nice person.
and also, as someone like married for 19 years, the one thing is you say, look, things like negging someone, making them feel bad to make them need you. You leave that for later on in the relationship.
Yeah.
5-6 years in, that's when you pull that out. Okay,
That's when you pull that out.
They're going in straight off on that. No, but on a real level, actually, relationship, it's like trust and there's some. Does nobody believe in a bit of magic? A bit of just like where your souls meet and there's something, this person, they like you. They just like you.
God, that was gay.
That
You are right, and I think I don't regret that I've gone on it. I've had to unlearn a lot of the things.
How much did you spend on it, or did your dad spend on it?
No, I paid him back.
You paid him back?
Yeah,
How much did you pay for it? Was that £500?
I paid the $4,000, the £500 he bought me.
£4,000.
I would
And I was
pay
young
him
at this
back
point.
after 4
Success.
walks.
Yeah.
After I'd be like, okay, Dad, per one night.
Each blowjob is £100.
There you go. There you go.
My dad's gonna hate this.
I'm right.
What is good though, a bit of a full circle moment. So during the pandemic, there was a guy used to do stand up. You know him, called Alex Lazareff,
Yes.
a Canadian guy.
Gamba.
He had this massive. He was a massive coach. He would teach. Had a massive company.
Really? Him?
Yeah. And basically, there's a video of him on YouTube approaching women in London. Went viral. Very funny. Very good at it. Anyway, he used to be a comedian before that. Not a very high level one. And he ran a course called Comedy Therapy.
He had a great gag.
Yeah,
It's
go on.
funny, I always remember people's gags.
Go on.
So this is not my gag, this is Alex Lazarus' gag, right? So he was at the airport and he heard them saying, do not leave anything unattended. Do not leave any luggage unattended. It will be taken and destroyed. So now I just go to the airport, leave all my old stuff. That was
There's
it.
a Lazarus joke back from the dead. Yeah. There you go, biblical joke there. Thanks very much.
Lazarev, yes.
I know, but
Anyway,
Yeah.
he ran a course called Comedy Therapy, and we were like comedy and then therapy. He's a spiritual guy, and then at the end you had to do a gig, and that's how I started doing stand up.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Gospel.
Maybe it
that's
was
good.
worth it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would
There
be
you
here
go.
today.
Yes, this makes sense.
there
Makes
you go.
sense.
But still,
wholesome.
I'd be like, Dad,
Can I
you
have
still
it
don't, yeah. It's ironically one of those investments, $4,000, and
Private school.
you've actually got less interest over the years.
Well, I'll tell
after
you
the
what
investment.
why some of those things also are needed is that I feel like as you get older, once you've been through many attempts, many breakups, you start losing the energy.
Build a shield.
You start losing the energy. Like, honestly, I used to be like staying after gigs to talk to women. I used to be like always chasing. Now I'm just like, oh God, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. I want it to be easy, and effort is required.
Yeah.
And I think you need things to force you to put in the effort as you get older. So these divorced people, they need
need
a
a
course
push.
to get a
I
push.
sometimes think about that, happily married 19 years now. I wonder, say me
Just to say that at the end. Just to be clear.
broke up or she died or whatever. I kind of think I'd do really well with women in that I am completely disinterested now, approaching 50. I think I'd
Yeah,
be
but the
like,
thing is, if you
really?
were single, you wouldn't be.
No,
Because you are now, because
No,
you're
you
married,
say
but I
that,
reckon-
but I've gone on dates in the last few months, and I just couldn't be on. It's there's a lot of follow up which you should be doing.
This is
I
it.
went out with
You get
this
older,
lovely
you don't wanna
lady,
do
but then
admin.
I was like,
I reckon if you went,
I don't want to do the admin.
It's a lot of admin.
I reckon
Getting
if
back
you
to
went on a date
people.
with a woman, you'd smash it. I think
Smash it.
you're
Oh, thanks
a very
much.
charismatic guy.
Oh, thanks very much. Well,
Not
there we
smash
go.
her, maybe.
It's official now. I'd smash it. I'd have sorted her life out. Probably would have, done the hoovering.
She'd be praying.
She'd be praying, coming to church, and she'd probably meet someone she likes. Smashed it. Yeah.
Also, I tell you it's weird things. Scheduling is the
Scheduling.
biggest bar
Flipping
to
heck.
dating now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
unless I go for someone much younger, people my age have got a lot of stuff going on. So it's like, can you do Monday? Well, I've got this and this, and I've got. Can you do Tuesday? I've got this and this, and you're just like.
Also, you get to our age, everybody's got. All the females have got kids.
They've all got kids,
So
and
you're
they've got
like,
lives.
Even some of the ones
crikey.
I'm talking to have got kids now.
Crikey. That's a lot of admin and
It's a lot of
scheduling
admin.
and extra
and
pressure.
then also they'll cancel on you because they're like, oh, someone was meant to come and do the babysitting, and then they pulled out. I told
or
you.
they were meant to be with a dad, but he's just gone to prison. But he's coming out next week. Yeah.
That's a new thing you have to worry about too. Like, I dated someone whose ex was a policeman.
Yeah.
As a black person, I'm already frightened.
You're already
of the
scared, yeah.
police.
It's a hoax. An inside job.
Extra reason to hate that. Yeah.
All right,
Oh, man.
You gotta go.
Gotta
gotta
go. But so I feel like I have been schooled. Thank you
Yeah.
in this educational.
Also, you've been
it
told
was
that-
breaking expectations, and the fact,
like, I'll tell you.
without going on a date, I've already smashed it. This imaginary female.
Claire will hate this episode. Oh, but she doesn't watch. You're fine. You're fine. You're
No
fine.
problem there.
You're fine.
Don't watch.
So come to my show next Sunday
Next Sunday,
and subscribe
check
to the
out Dom's show.
Patreon, all this stuff.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Yes. How do you not know this? We'll
Love you.
see you soon.
Love you.
Hey, maybe we should just be friends.
Yeah.